Generation 10 and the 30th anniversary of Pokemon are coming up very quickly. And I want to look and create a kind of wish list of the different mechanical changes that I want to happen in this new generation. When I mean mechanical changes, I don't mean things like adding in Mega Pokemon. I more mean smaller changes to things like how Pokemon are designed or battle mechanics. The two main changes I'd like to see are more limited movesets and adding in more move categories. I'll explain both of these. Limiting movesets might seem controversial because surely you want more Pokemon to have more moves all the time. Like, that's part of the fun of Pokemon. But I feel as though the broader movesets that we currently have now actually make the game a bit less fun. My personal design philosophy is that not every Pokemon should be amazing, but that they should all serve a purpose. And the expansion of movesets directly opposes this idea. This means that nowadays, Pokemon are able to do similar things, and it creates something called role compression. Role compression is basically the idea that one Pokemon can fill multiple roles on your team. Clefable is a brilliant example of this. It isn't amazing at anything, but Clefable can be your setup sweeper, it can be your hazard setter, it can be your wish passer. The thing that makes Clefable so good is that it has multiple different roles that it can all fill, all in a single Pokemon. So why is role compression bad? In my opinion, if you made it harder for role compression to be achieved, you'd have much more creativity, but also much more of a challenge in how you build your team. You won't have access to a singular Pokemon that fills several holes. Not having that jack of all trades would mean that they are picked generally less, and it would see the rise of different Pokemon who can fill different roles. Limiting movesets would essentially mean that if a team wants that utility, then they have to go out of their way and maybe sacrifice something else to have it. You might need to think, oh, I can't fit in a Wish Passer, or I can't fit in somebody who's a Cleric or a Stealth Rock setter. So I just can't work that in because it's harder to get them. It would also mean that certain Pokemon that can fill these roles will become more valuable. An example of this was when Politoed and Ninetales first got the abilities Drizzle and Drought. As they were the only Pokemon that could be used that had these, they became important parts of the metagame. So by giving weaker Pokemon access to abilities and moves that stronger Pokemon don't have, they naturally become more important. Limiting movesets is actually something that Pokemon has already been doing. Just look at moves like Toxic, Scald, and Defog. All of these moves were basically taken out of movesets, and it heavily nerfed a lot of Pokemon. But the moves also became a lot more valuable. Look at Alomomola. As many other Pokemon lost access to Scald, it retained it, and it became a lot more important because that move is so good. However, the opposite has really happened with Close Combat, which has seen a massive expansion in the amount of Pokemon that can use it. It used to be the ultimate fighting move on par with moves like Hydro Pump or Fire Blast. However, now I feel as though it's been lessened because you throw a stone and you're just bound to hit a Close Combat user. The power of the move seems to have been lessened just because everybody has it now, so you will have Pokemon who are against it because everyone has it. The second change I'd want to add is adding in more move categories or move properties. They don't really have a name in Pokemon, so I'm just going to go with either of them. So these are essentially subtypes for attacking moves. So you have things like moves that are sound based or moves that are punching based. In Generation 9 we actually got a few new ones like these, like the new slicing moves or the wind based moves. But I'd like to see Pokemon add even more of them because I think it's a really fun mechanic and just adds an extra layer. The first one that I think that they should add are light based moves, and I think that these should have the effect alongside sound based moves of just waking up all sleeping Pokemon when they are hit. I've made a video before about my dislike for a new light type in Pokemon, but I feel as though a light based category would really work. There are already a lot of moves in this category like Aurora Beam, Signal Beam, Photon Geyser, Flash Cannon, so I think that there already is enough of a base for it. And I also think that there's a lot of opportunities for extra mechanics that could be added in. One of the main things I talk about in that video is how the ability Illuminate could be changed to basically make it a version of punk rock, but just for light type moves. I also said that maybe you could give an immunity through an ability like Clear Body. If this is too widely distributed, maybe you could also create a new ability that you give to the likes of Sableye or Darkrai called Pitch Black. Another move category I'd like to see is a Blitz or Crash type move. And these are the moves like Takedown, Body Slam, any move that basically involves throwing your body at the opponent. I always felt as though these moves should definitely be a type of mechanic. I feel as though a good buffing ability could be something like Momentum, and I'd give this to a lot of the ungulates of the Pokemon world, so Pokemon like Emboar, Tauros, and Gogoat, and then also to a few Pokemon like Donphan or Golem, who are known for kind of rolling. Pokemon has a super wide variety of these types of moves, so there's definitely enough for a basis of them. The final category I'd like to consider is a environmental maybe move, and this would be for moves like Earthquake, Magnitude, Avalanche, or Rock Slide. Those kind of moves that are based around natural disasters or dealing damage to the environment. You could probably also include moves like Heat Wave or Hurricane. These are also all moves that are brilliant in doubles, so I think it would make a really good doubles ability, and I think you could give it to a Pokemon like Torterra. Call it something like World Shaker or Force of Nature, or something about how powerful this Pokemon is. So those are the two mechanical and design changes that I'd love to see introduced into Generation 10 in Pokemon. But what do you think? Do you have any suggestions of anything you would like to see? Or do you disagree with my opinions? Or do you have anything that could add on to my opinions? I hope that I've earned a like or a subscribe from you. I'm going to try and aim for 500 subscribers for around the summertime. So if you can contribute that, that would be a massive help. Thank you.